Episode 2, and they're doing a Die Hard.
Let's just do a Die Hard.
What does that mean?
A movie I have seen, however I suspect, much like Summer, you wouldn't have to have seen Die Hard to enjoy the Die Hard? This week's episode wasn't as strong as the Season 6 premiere, which isn't particularly surprising. In fact, I'd say this entirely feels more in the vein of a Season 2 episode, especially with splitting up Summer from the boys. There's still plenty to like, however, nothing propelling this episode into the top tier heights Rick and Morty can reach.
We're just cool, bad kids doing young stuff.
Straight up, the cold open had me concerned. Justin Roiland is a great comedic tool that needs to be used with moderate consideration.
Happens when we die. What happens when we all die? Do you guys worry about that shit at night?
To me, the show is at its worst when it's just Justin. When it's Roiland doing silly voices saying goofy shit.
Hey, welcome to Cooking Things. I'm Pikel Thompson.
Luckily, there was a narrative purpose to this, which leads quite nicely into the biggest compliment I have. That being that the core concept of Morty being split into 5 billion video game NPCs.
Every single one of you is 1/5 billionth of Morty. All of you collectively are Morty.
Is one of those high concept sci-fi ideas I haven't seen anywhere else, nor would I expect it to be pulled off so smoothly. In fact, the writers seem to know this, as the B-plot is so purposefully underwritten, with characters devolving into just saying, die hard, over and over.
Die hard, die hard, die hard!
With very obvious parodies of iconic Die Hard scenes. I particularly got a good laugh out of the weird alien walkie-talkie that makes this weird scream when activated. Additionally, Peter Dinklage is doing a great homage to Alan Rickman.
Walkie-talkie Die Hard, motherfucker.
Where the story shines is in the A-plot, which takes place over a lifetime and seems to foreshadow a grim conclusion to the titular Rick and Morty's relationship. It reminded me of the speech Evil Morty gave in the Season 5 finale, explaining that eventually, given enough time, every Morty is an evil Morty.
Now you're evil Morty too. Sooner or later we all are.
My favourite moment of the episode comes when the Mortys ask Rick to simply say, I love you, and there's a comedic pause that just works so well for a laugh that includes some great dramatic tension.
I'll get every single part of me to get on every ship and go with you. Good. But you have to tell us you love us.
In fact, I'm quickly finding my favourite moments tend to be when the show humorously pauses for a laugh. It can really underline a comedic moment, especially as Rick and Morty tends to be fast-paced with very little breathing room. Furthermore, the Jewish Morty dad provided some great comedy and a nice thematic backbone for the eventual conclusion to the plot.
There's a kitchenette in the break room. Oh, a kitchenette you say. Such red carpet treatment.
My biggest issue is that in the grand scheme of the show, this episode is pretty forgettable. It's a nice middle ground of sci-fi drama and on-the-nose parody. However, I tend to enjoy it when the parodies are slightly more subtle. Finally, the elements of the episode that I found the most interesting are the likely setups for future installments. The idea that Morty is now missing a piece of himself, most probably a piece that mistrusted Rick.
I mean, whatever you say, Rick. You know best. I trust you implicitly.
Is compelling moving forward. Same with the Roy machine being stored in the Raiders of the Lost Ark-esque warehouse, a reference that went unstated that I could enjoy. Overall, this is what I expect an average episode of Rick and Morty to be. It's in no way an instant classic, however, if the quality doesn't get worse than this, we have a very respectable season of television ahead of ourselves with some hopefully high peaks. A final note to end on. There's something quite saddening that perhaps the most fulfilling life Morty can have is a 1/billionth part of himself trapped in a video game. 6 out of 10. Roiland doing okay, that will not be in the video. Maybe it will. Maybe right at the end we can just have some weird fucking screeching sounds.